I'll seek you out, flay you alive.
Hey guys, Pogo here, and welcome to the next episode of the Survival Games mini-series. In this episode, we are going to write the code that will allow for rollbacks. Now here's the deal. Before I made this video, I tested the code that I'm going to use here, and it worked very well, but I only tested it by breaking 3 blocks. So if you have a large server with 25 people constantly breaking blocks, and then you go to use this, it might lag the server a little bit, or some of the blocks might not even actually restore properly. So use this at your own risk, but we'll go ahead and implement it anyway. So you can choose if you just want it to cancel, that's fine, but otherwise we're going to try to write code that will allow for rolling back. So what we're going to do is we're going into this block break listener class, this class that implements listener, and this is where we're going to do everything. Now we have one listener for the block break event, but really you need to listen for any event that involves a block. Basically a block, it could be that a block is placed, because you don't want to keep placed blocks. A block is broken, a block explodes, a block burns. All of the different block events, pretty much all of them you want to keep track of. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write a private array list of type, what was it called? Block state, which we'll call states. And then we'll just write a constructor that will instantiate it. States. Okay, this dot states is equal to new array list. New array list. There you go. Okay. And import block state. Okay. So, the block state class or interface, I'm not sure which one, it's an interface, okay, and it stores information about the block. It stores all of this information, like what block it is, the data of the block, the type of the block, and everything. And then it has this important update method right here, and that we can use to restore it. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of all the block states of all the blocks that are changed. Then at the end of the arena, when the arena is finished, we're going to go ahead and restore them. So what we're going to do is first we have the states. Now we're going to go ahead and write a private void handle. The handle is going to take in a okay, we're going to write 2. One of them is going to take in a player and a block, and one of them is going to take in a block. Although we might not actually need the first one. So go ahead and import everything. Okay, so we might not need this, but all we're going to do here is we're going to have a check for the player. And then if the player is in an arena, if the player is not in an arena, return. Otherwise, we're going to call handle with that block. Because what we're going to do is we're going to have all the different events, and we're just going to say handle e.getPlayer and block, or in some cases where it doesn't have a player, it would be just this one right here. So, oh, this is handler, it should be handle, okay. So this handle method is where we're going to, alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say states.add block.getState. So we're going to back up the state of the block pretty much. We're going to keep that state there. Then we're going to say block.setType to be material.air, and then this will stop drops, because for the most part you probably don't want items to drop, or else that could give unfair advantages. People could you know, run away, dig a ton of dirt, build a safety box, whatever you want to call it, and then just wait there until the game ends and then win. So you obviously wouldn't want that. This will go ahead and stop the drops. So we have the state, so we add this to our states. And then otherwise, the other thing we need to do is a public void rollback, and then this is going to actually do the rollback. We're going to say for block state in states state.update true false. Now, just to explain this, I actually have the page open right here. Here is the update method, which takes two booleans. That's one that we're using: boolean force and boolean apply physics. So as it says, it attempts to update the block. So force is false and the blocks aren't the same, then it won't work. So for example, if I delete or if I mine a dirt block and I place a stone block, then this update wouldn't work. So we want to make force true because we want to have it update. We want to force it to update to what it was before. Apply physics. We're going to make that false because we don't want the physics to, we don't want that to affect the map. We want the map to go back to exactly how it was. So that's why I picked true and false right there. Now, obviously, we need to register all of the other block events. So, block burn. So this one does not have a player, it just has a block, so we're just going to handle with the block. And then implement all other types of block events. So you'd obviously need to do that. The only one that I'm going to quickly do right now is the block place, because we do want to, let me just see, get block against, get block placed. Okay, so here, right here, it just has this get block replaced state. So I guess that's probably what we want to use. We want to get the state of the replaced block. So we're going to, I guess, have to make a third handle method. And we'll do this, private void handle block state, and then we're going to cut everything here. And then this method is just going to call handle block.getState. So it's just a chain. You could remove this one. Sorry. You could remove this one if you wanted to. But then otherwise... Okay. So then this will just be... So never mind. We actually are going to take that and stick it over there. So that's how we're going to do this. So we have the handle. This first one that takes in a player and a block will make sure that the player is in an arena, and if it is, then it'll go ahead and handle that block. The one that takes in a block will handle the state of the block and then set the block to be air in order to stop item drops. Then finally, the handle that takes in a state just adds it to the list of block states. And then rollback will update all of them to fix. And you'd obviously need to write out the rest of the block events. You want to have most, if not all of them, listened to. And then let's go. To finish it up, we just need to actually have it roll back, and that's easy. So we're going to go ahead and make a private static block break rollback manager, and we could rename this. Let's just rename this to be rollback manager. Sounds a little bit better. And then when we go to register the rollback manager, I'm going to alphabetize it because I'm like that. We're going to say rollback manager is equal to. So we're instantiating it right there, and then we can do a public static rollback manager get rollback manager. I know that this might not be the best method because we're using static, but it is safe because the first thing that happens, the entry point of the plugin, is that it is instantiated right here, and there's no reason why it wouldn't be instantiated without the whole server not working. And then this does sort of work like a singleton, because this rollback manager is private. It's instantiated once, you can get it, but there's no way to set it unless within the main class, and it's only set once. So don't worry about that part, that's fine. Over in Arena, when we want to go finish, we're going to say right here. When the arena ends, we're going to say main.getRollbackManager.rollback. So, or actually, let's just clear the players first, because remember, this could end up lagging out the server. So we're going to clear all the players, then we're going to roll it back, and then after it's rolled back, we're going to set the state to be waiting. Now, you could run the rollback as an asynchronous task, but if you do and someone joins while it's rolling back, then they could join into a half-broken arena, and that could be a serious issue. So we're not going to do that. So again, your mileage may vary with this. It might work, it might not if you break too many blocks, or if your server is already slow and then you're trying to do this expensive task on it as well. So see how it works out for you. If it doesn't, you could just do what we did before and cancel all these events. Instead of handling them to be rolled back, you could just cancel them all so that nothing can happen to the blocks at all. So that is all for this episode. And I think that this is almost the end of the Survival Games mini-series. I think that I've covered everything that I really need to. We have a very strong plugin with a great system worked out. If there are other things that you wanted to add that I didn't do, they're really not that hard. I know that there were some requests for some kind of an economy, which I did do. I covered in the economy mini-series, and if you want MySQL integration, you can check out the MySQL mini-series, because I do show you how to set up a MySQL server and also how to make a bucket plugin that works with it. So that's already covered. If you want to make spectating, I think that either in the current released version or in a snapshot, Mojang actually added a spectating game mode. So if that's the case, all you would do is update the game mode. Otherwise, you would just loop through all the players and hide the spectating player to all the other players. There's a method in the player interface that will do that, and then you would just cancel the events like player damage, block break, if the player who damaged the other player or the player who broke the block is a ghost. Then you obviously wouldn't want that to happen. You could also put them in adventure mode to help with a few of the events, and then just make sure that they don't hurt other people, make them fly. So that's going to be it for the Survival Games mini-series. Later this week, or possibly into the weekend, that this is the week of August 25th, so later this week or possibly in the weekend, I am going to do a live stream where I will put the plugin up on a server and give the IP out to anyone who's watching live. They can join and they can help me debug the plugin. We can play some survival games, and as we encounter bugs, I will go into the code, find the bugs, and then explain what they are and fix them. So those of you who want to watch it live and join in, please let me know in the description that you do plan on doing it. I'll give a better date soon, but it'll probably be later this week or this weekend, so let me know. Otherwise, I will of course put the live stream on YouTube after it's finished. So you can watch that later to watch the debugging of the plugin, to find all the bugs, and then the final version will be posted to GitHub after the live stream, and people can have the ability to download the code, fork it and modify it, and then even submit a pull request if you want to give others access to that code in the main repository. So as always, subscribe if you want to see more, comment with what you want to learn. If you like this video, click the like button, and I will see you guys soon with some more coding videos. Bye for now.